Welcome, 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 welcome across America, around the world. This is Dr. Willie Jolley and my beautiful bride,
This is Dee.
Dee Taylor-Jolley, and we're the authors of the book, Make Love,
Make money.
Make It Last. 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. And we want to encourage you to tell your friends to join on. Like it, share it, and all of you subscribe to it. Let Dottie and everybody know that we are here and we are giving people some strategies to help you in your relationships, because we know that relationships can be tried and tested during these challenging times. And so we want to help more people have terrific relationships. For those who are just joining us, just learning about us, finding out about us first time, we are the Jollies, and we've been married for going on 36 years. 36 years. Haven't had an argument in over 33 years.
I was a baby.
Yeah. She was a baby. Anyway, we haven't had an argument in 33 years, and
but it doesn't mean that we always agree.
No, we don't always agree.
We're very, very different people.
Quite
gets
different.
Into this evening's discussion about unrealistic expectations, which are often an outgrowth of coming from different environments, different cultures,
5 unrealistic expectations,
different households
that can destroy your marriage. Ooh, ouch.
And what to do about it.
Yep. Linda Kazera is here. She said they've been married for 45 years. Wow.
Congratulations.
That is amazing.
She was a pup.
She was a pup, yes. Anyway, we want to welcome everybody. So let me tell you why we are taking this message, this show, this process, is because we learned that a lot of folks are married but not happily married, and some are happily married but want to get even better happily married, and that's why we wrote the book, and the book has taken off. We encourage everybody to go to jollymarriage.com if you're new and get a free chapter from the book. And
the chapter's on communication, which is the common thread for developing a great relationship.
Well, the 3 big boulders that break up marriages are sex, money, and communication. And of the 3, communication tends to be the one that has the common thread that runs.
Well, you have to communicate about sex, right?
You got to
communicate about money, right?
You
have to communicate if
you don't communicate, you don't get sex, you don't get money is jacked up.
That is annoying. You have to
talk about it. And a lot of folks don't talk about it, and then they wonder why their sex life is jacked up, messed up, tuned up, tangled up.
Okay, so specifically tonight
we're going to talk about unrealistic expectations. So Cherise Crawford is here, Olympia is here, Denise Dyer is here, Iris Miller-Smith from New York City, glad you made it. Linda from West Virginia is here. Folks over on Instagram are jumping on.
We can put in the chat. Okay, so we're talking about unrealistic expectations.
Okay, we're going to start.
Destroy your marriage, right?
Well, we're going to first tell what an unrealistic expectation is, and then you've got some real research on.
You want to deal with what it is.
Well, let me just give a real life experience. So,
we're really disagreeing right now, because you want to start in the middle of the conversation.
I just want to make sure they all understand what we're talking about.
Yes.
All right. So
see how easy that was?
Yes, dear. Yes, dear. Thank you, sweetie.
You're welcome.
All right. See, that's how we roll. Y'all see, we roll. We just roll like that. You know. Sometimes I say yes, dear. Sometimes she says yes, dear. But I just want to make sure that everybody can understand. Hey, Lou is here. Hey, Lou, we're going to call you sometime. You got it. But we want to talk about unrealistic expectations. So, Dee married me, and I was a musician. Her father was a handyman. Not really a handyman.
He was a minister.
Yeah,
he was
He could do everything.
He could do everything.
He could do it all.
He could work on cars.
He could fix cars. He could
build houses.
He built his parents a home. I mean, literally, brick by brick, laying the groundwork, building the home, the frame. He did it all on weekends. He built his parents a home.
And you didn't quite know what his screwdriver was.
You getting ahead of me here. You're getting ahead of me. So he did all of this, and she expected when she got married to me that I was going to put together stuff. I don't put together stuff. I don't do that. I don't know how to put together stuff. So
that was an unrealistic expectation.
Yes.
Because we really had not, we really didn't have any reason to talk about it. But
so
I made assumptions.
So the funny story is, so she goes to IKEA. I don't think you've been back to IKEA
once.
She goes to IKEA.
In 30-some years.
And she gets something.
It was a desk.
A desk. And she comes back and she says, hey.
It's in the box.
It's in the box. And I got a desk. And I said, okay. I said, all right. So what are you saying to me? And she said, well, aren't you going to put it together? I said,
I need you to put it together.
No, you might have said I need you, but I think more like, aren't you going to put it together? Something to that effect.
Well, no.
Because you needed me to put it together. Yes. I still did not put it together.
But I just assumed, I said, here it is.
Yeah. You said, here it is. Here's the desk. And I said, isn't that a pretty little box? I'm going on to make me some money. And she ended up putting the desk together. I ain't ashamed to tell y'all. I am not ashamed to say I am not Harry Homemaker. I am not the guy with this tool belt. That's not my gifting. That was her daddy's gifting. And I told her, that's not what I do. Now, over the years, I have put things together around the house.
You know what a screwdriver is.
I know what a screwdriver is. And a hammer. And I do
and I'm very prayerful when you have them in your hand that you won't hurt yourself.
That's right. I call the guy. I pick up the phone and say to somebody who does this, hey, remember when I was cutting grass?
Oh my God. That's why we got a gardener.
That's why we got a gardener, okay?
Well, you pull the lawnmower over your toes.
Or almost. You thought I was going to do it.
Over your toes. And I was like, that's the end of
that. That's not what I do, okay? So I'm good with that, okay? I am good with that. So that's an unrealistic expectation. She made the expectation that I would be had the expectation.
The expectation, I assumed.
Made the assumption.
Because the man in my life, my dad did it, that you would do it too.
Yeah.
But I quickly made the adjustment.
Yep.
After I saw that you really were not good at that.
That's right. So let's talk about this for how it impacts your relationship. Dee has some real life situations that will impact your relationship that we must talk about.
Okay, so let's deal with some questions here.
All right.
And people can add in the chat. I'd like to know their thoughts.
Yeah.
What were your expectations of your spouse when you got married?
Or somebody you had a relationship with? Because some people might not be married who, we got a chapter in the book for people not yet married who join in.
Did you have any expectations? I'm not sure that I really did. I just assumed you'd be like my dad. Yeah. So that was my expectation.
Yeah.
So what did you have an expectation of your spouse before you got married? Did you discuss? We didn't discuss.
No.
The expectation. Did you have an expectation of me that I was going to be like your mama and cook?
I guess I did. Yeah, I guess I thought you'd be like my mother and cook. A lot of cooking.
And you know what? We really didn't talk about it.
We didn't talk about it.
Wow. We just kind of.
We
adjusted.
Yes. And
did your spouse meet your expectations, your marital expectations?
Okay, then see, these are questions that and maybe some of the single
got any comments?
Ricky Hodges said, I wanted her to cook like my grandmother.
Wow.
I understand that, and
we have a difference about that now because I don't get it.
Yeah, we have, but that's now down the road. We're way down the road now. Because I said it to the other night. I said when my son was growing up and my daughter was here, but my daughter was 10 years older than my son, but my son was a little fella, and my daughter, when she went off to college, she was cooking like every day, lasagna and turkey.
I think you have selective memory.
And all sorts of, he was cooking like crazy. And then when he went off to college, the kitchen shut down. The kitchen shut down. The baby was going off to college. The kitchen shut down. Woo, woo, woo. It was. I was on my own. Nah, I can't say that. She did cook, but not.
I cook once or twice a week.
Once or twice a week. Maybe on a Sunday she'd cook for 3 or 4 days, enough meals. But it wasn't like cooking every night, you know. So these are expectations, though, that you must discuss and that you must understand. So let's talk about the ones
so
that...
the disappointment comes when the expectations are unrealistic or you haven't talked about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And they can have detrimental impact on your marriage. All right, so there's a psychologist named Selena Snow, who's a PhD clinical psychologist in Rockville, Maryland, that says unrealistic expectations are potentially damaging because they set us up for failure. Like my expecting that you would be able to put stuff together and we're handyman like my dad. So if I continued along that vein, that could really have had an adverse effect. Always, I would want you to do something like that and then be disappointed because you couldn't or you wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. That wasn't my thing, you know. So those are good. Now let me ask you a couple questions. Sharice has a couple questions. How do you adjust on the cooking tip if you don't cook? I assume that's what you mean, Sharice. And the answer is you must talk about it. That's one of the things about this unrealistic expectation. You must say up front, I don't really do a whole lot of cooking. You know, I'm just good looking. I don't do the cooking.
Okay, but see, I would have a different perspective. You're going to make fun of me when I say this.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, because you're a foodie.
Yeah.
You're a foodie because your mom was a foodie.
My mom was a foodie.
I'm not really interested in all that cooking because of the grease splattering. I like the stove clean. So I don't want to use it to cook food that'll splatter grease and stuff around. I know it sounds weird.
It's so odd.
We have discussed that a lot.
Yeah.
But what I do is that I do at least bake, right?
Yeah, but what happens if you couldn't bake? Okay, she might be saying, I don't really do that. I'm good looking. I don't do cooking. Here's what's up. And then the husband...
Hello Fresh.
Hello Fresh. Okay.
Imperfect foods. We
don't know about that yet. But Hello Fresh and all these other food services. Or like Dr. Bo, who was like my godfather. He did all the cooking. Jerry Lee knows about that. Dr. Bo, Mrs. DeBow.
So find somebody that
cooked.
That can cook.
He decided. He was always cooking.
But if the one spouse doesn't cook, the other one doesn't want to cook, then what do? Then you do one of the services where the things come prepackaged, or you have a service where they deliver the.
But it all goes back to
talking about it.
All goes back to communication. Communication. These are things, and Sharice, that's the answer. And then she said, how do you manage your schedule when we weren't on lockdown? Now, I assume by that managing our schedule, how do we handle schedule? Everything we do, and part of the success of our marriage, is that we talk about everything.
You know, but actually I do ask, or we'll ask, what's on your schedule? We do that.
We talk about it.
Because he has so many different things going on, and that's in terms of if he's doing a media something and all this, so it's always a certain level of chaos. So the only way that I have a sense of what's going on and then I work myself around it is to say, what's on your schedule?
That's right.
And does it involve me?
Yeah, particularly on weekends, because during the week, my assistant has my schedule laid out for me. And I get up and see it. But during the weekend, she'll say, what's on your schedule? And I'll say this, and this.
Because you change your mind or other things happen.
Right.
And then you'll say, Dee, we're going to something. And I'm like, okay, I have chosen to be adaptable.
And flexible, because that's what it takes.
And flexible.
So we communicate about that, Sharice. We talk. Again, everything's back to talking. The great relationships communicate. The great relationships in business communicate. My friend Stephen Gaffney said, do not get the unsaid said. We must work on getting the unsaid, the things that you're holding in, the things that you aren't talking about. Get them out and said. And so you got to have that kind of mindset that will impact your relationship. Okay, so we go. So let's go back to these unrealistic expectations. How?
Okay, so here's a list of
Let's go
some.
back to your 45% thing. I think it's a book.
Okay, well, I haven't gotten
Oh,
to
you
that
haven't
yet.
gotten
I
there?
haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
Okay, where do expectations come from? From our own individual cultures, our own households, our observations. It could be facts, but it could be our interpretation of the facts. Like if you're in a household where there's a mom and dad takes on this role, that's all you've ever seen, and it has been pleasurable to you growing up, then that's the same kind of thing that you might come to expect in your relationship, right?
Oh,
How you even disagree.
we got a letter from a couple who said, my husband and I got married, and the husband wrote the letter, or the husband wrote the letter and said, my wife and I got married, but they were talking together, and he said, I got sick and tired of my wife saying, that's not how my mom and dad did it. That's not how my mom and dad did it. He said, hold up. I didn't come from that culture. I didn't come from that lifestyle. She said, well, my mom and dad, they were happily married for 40 years, 45 years, and and everything goes great, and that's how, and I want to do it like this. And he said, no, that's not how.
You know what? I would say that was a very selfish thing.
That was because that was her expectation, though. That was her paradigm. That was her.
But she had to be willing. She has to be willing to say, oh, okay, so that's how. I love how my mom and dad did, and my mom and dad had a really
they had a great relationship, great. But I'm different from your father.
Yes.
Okay, quite. He was very much an introvert, and the mother was the extrovert.
Yes.
And Dee is the introvert, and I'm the extrovert. So we are so much different that I've always got people calling. Oh, we got to roll. Something just happened. I need to.
So
I need
it's
to go
about
see
being willing to adjust. All right.
Adjust.
So here we go. So the National Fatherhood Initiative produced a report. It's called the National Survey on Marriage, and it was done about 10 years ago, actually. And they interviewed divorced individuals. They interviewed divorced individuals, and 45% of those divorced individuals said that unrealistic expectations in their marriage by themselves or by their spouses was a major contributor to their divorce.
45% of them said that of the people who broke up.
Surveyed individuals who were divorced.
Wow.
Said that they realized that their expectations, as unreasonable as they were, interfered with them staying together.
So we've had couples who've sent us information, sent us questions, who are. One person said that we've gotten comfortable with being uncomfortable. We are so dysfunctional we've become functional in dysfunction.
Which means they don't talk.
They don't talk, and they just have stayed together because of the children,
the economics,
and the money. You know, Sharice just said, "What financial expectations did you set, and how often did you discuss them?" Well, if you, by the way, in the book, we have a chapter for money. And it's probably one of the most important chapters because we know that sex, money, and communication break up marriages. We talk about the systems that you establish.
And we worked into that because we didn't really talk about the money ahead of time. He didn't have any money, and I didn't have any money.
Well, I had a little bit of money, but not a lot. I mean,
you were a nightclub singer. You got paid in cash.
I had money set aside, but it wasn't a whole.
It was all tight.
But you know what? We talked about a system that would work for me, knowing that I'm frugal, okay? And and you have to talk. Everything leads back to communication.
Right.
You have to talk about it and be honest about the type of person you are. I am frugal. I make $1 holler.
Well, part of your frugalness is that you were paid in cash. That's a whole nother world. So I entered that world not really. I had no prior experience with people with music.
With the music.
Who sang in the right. You got paid in cash, all that kind of stuff. That was complete. So I had to be willing to learn so that I could understand because we meshed our finances. I had an account, you had an account, and we had a joint account.
Okay, that's called a 3-pot system. So there's a 1-pot system, a 2-pot system, and a 3-pot system. We won't go in detail now, Sharice, but chapter number 9 in the book. And hopefully, Sharice, there's a chapter in the book about single folks. How to choose the right one. Not how to find them. We don't tell you how to find them, but once you find a prospect, we give you some specific exercises that you can put them through, some tests to check them out, to see if they are a prospect or a suspect. Come on, somebody. And if you go through this, it's a 3-day test, a 5-day test, a 30-day test, and you'll be able to say, nope, they fail, okay, and you move on. Because you don't want to waste a whole lot of time with a pretender, as Ms. Bernice Mitchell said, a representative of the real person. You want to get that moving on so you can get on with your life. So get that chapter and read that chapter about singleness. Now also the folks in Clubhouse, you gotta want to make sure y'all maybe might be single. And if you're single or married, but get the book, go to jollymarriage.com, get 2 copies if you're married, so that each one of you in the relationship can go at the same pace. And if you're single, well, you can get 2 copies too. Get one for you. Name of the book again: Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. Iris Miller Smith. So what's the name of the book again? Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And if we recommend you go to jollymarriage.com to get it. You know, it is available on Amazon, but if you get it on jollymarriage.com, then you can get 2 copies almost for the price of 1. Okay. Jerry Lee, she said she better read that chapter. You know I love you, Jerry. And then Sharice asked one more question. I know you're willing to learn. I'm check time down. What did you do to prepare your marital mama, Dee? How did you know he was also preparing for marriage? What did you do to prepare for marriage, Mama Dee?
Okay.
Yeah. Now, Sharice. All right. For those who don't know, obviously, Reese, you don't know that she didn't get to prepare for marriage. She didn't get to have a conversation. I went to visit one weekend. She was living in Hampton, Virginia. We had dated for 4 years, and then she moved back to Hampton to run her father's church, grocery store, and all his businesses, his laundromat.
Because I had lost my job here in D.C. and I was tired of being here.
Right.
So I returned home.
She went back home to run everything and to be secure. I would come down and visit, typically on a Saturday.
And then we ended up getting married on a lunch hour. So that's how it happened.
You know, she cuts right to the chase.
I know.
I took her out. I was getting ready to give you a little bit of the details, Sharice. So here's the bottom line is, she did not have time to think about it. We went out to lunch. We came back married, and she was not planning.
I was not planning on getting married.
She was not
I had been
planning.
married before, and I was not planning on getting married ever again in life.
Right.
But he was my best friend.
So I just talked. I sold her on.
Yes.
In a moment. I was on a sales job. I was in a sales mission. I was closing the sale, and I was moving. We'll talk about that later.
Who I am and how it impacts our relationship. Because I would say, being fit and adaptable, being open to conversation.
Yeah, but
right?
we talked, but you
talked about everything.
We talked about everything, and in that moment, Sharice, she realized that I was going to do what I promised I did. I said I'd take care of you.
Yes, you did.
I said I'd take care of you.
Yes, you did.
Have I done what I said?
Yes, you did.
For 36 years. All right.
Yes.
I take care of you. I work hard.
Okay, let's go back.
I'll go the extra mile. I'll climb the highest mountain. I'll swim the deepest sea.
Calm down.
Oh!
Okay, stop. Okay. So,
all right.
You want to, when you discover, you know what, I have some unrealistic expectations. What am I going to do about it? Because it really is up to you as to what you want to do.
What do you do when you find out you got unrealistic? You must.
Of your mate, because you want to have a better relationship.
You want a better relationship. You want this thing to be close. Yeah.
Because that affects everything.
Everything.
Your emotional state, your health, that absolutely affects everything. So here's some of the major unrealistic expectations. And there's so many different lists. You can go out there on the internet. There's just so many different, but here's some common challenges that came from just all the 15 lists that I looked at. Love means never having to say you're sorry. They say that's pretty stupid. Number one, unrealistic expectation. When you love somebody, you never have to say you're sorry.
I should never. That's a movie. See, that was a movie. You know that came from a movie, right? It came from.
I don't know.
That's where that title came from. Love Story. with Ally McGraw and Ryan O'Neal.
That you never have to say you're sorry.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
I didn't watch movies either.
No, you don't know. No. She didn't. You see, she didn't see how different we are. We different as I know all of the pop culture. She don't know nothing about pop culture.
I don't listen to music.
She don't listen to music. I was in music and jazz and pop and R&B. She don't like music. She listens to talk radio. It's different.
I love talk radio.
So, but that's what people think. Love means never having to say you're sorry. That it's sort of be petals and roses.
So, people say and do things that they don't mean. Sometimes people are mean or just not nice. Maybe they're having a bad day. They feel bad. Something else happened at work, right?
Yep.
So you want to, we talk about that. Quickly apologize.
Quickly. We talk about that.
The person that you love.
Look, you're going to have to apologize. You're going to have to apologize sometime, some way. So that is a myth. Love me, never having to be sorry.
So when you love somebody, you acknowledge, you know what? I messed up. That was jacked up. I didn't mean to say it. I take responsibility for the fact that I didn't do so and so right. I apologize. Please accept my apology.
We do that. We do that quick. We do it quick. Over the years, we've done it, both of them. I'll say, you hurt my feelings about something.
Yes.
Particularly when I was traveling. I remember one time when I was traveling a lot, and she was home with William, and I would call to check in, and she'd be doing 2 or 3 things in the business. She'd be running the business.
And I would answer.
She'd say, hello, what you got? And I'm in the airport, and I'm between planes.
He's trying to carry on.
I'm trying to, and she said,
I had to learn that.
And she
because
said,
I was hang up.
okay, bye. Boom. I said, I had to say, hold up. I had to have confidence. That breaks my heart. You hurt me.
But I didn't know that until he said, Dee, you hung up on me. I wanted to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm in the airport. I'm all by myself. Again, communication.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Because I had no clue what it was like to travel until I started traveling with you.
That's right. And how you need that connection.
Right.
That was my connection with her. So, okay, next.
Okay, number 2, you should know what I'm thinking.
This is a big one. Now, we talk about this in the book, that you did not marry a mind reader. You did not. And people who come up with that, oh, you should have known what I was thinking. You should have known what wrong answer. That is a problem. You cannot go on that system. You got to say, I don't know what you're thinking. That's why we got to talk about it.
You know, I know there is a movie that says the words, you know, like you get me, you feel me, you understand me, whatever that is. No. You only know if you express yourself. And sometimes expressing yourself can be hard.
It can be hard.
Because you might not want to be, you think it's vulnerability. You know, I don't want them to know that you hurt my feelings. I don't want you to know that this is how this is making me feel. But how am I supposed to know if you don't say it?
All right,
you have got to say it.
We're not going to be able to get to all of them because we got 2 minutes and I got to go through. We got some great comments.
Oh, comments.
Jerry Lee said, I understand that not planned on marrying again, but Jerry, as cute as she is, somebody's looking to marry her. Sharice, thank you for putting a link in there to go to Jolley Marriage. See the book for Iris. Others have great comments. And thank you all the folks. Hey there, family over there on Instagram Live. Here's what I want to say to everybody. One is that we're going to restart this next week because so many people have talked about this. We want people to stay married. So go to jollymarriage.com, get the free chapter, and then if you buy the book, get 2 copies. That's why we tell you to get it at Jolley Marriage. So you can get 2 almost for the price of 1. We just charge a little bit more. And then you get it and we'll sign it. Then you grow together. We don't want you to read it, then they to read it. No, you grow together and you stay together. Look, if you invested in getting married or you're investing in your relationship now, wouldn't it make sense to invest in staying married? We heard a great statistic the other day about the different ethnic groups and who.
Oh my goodness! I'm going to do some research.
We'll have that next week too. Okay?
Oh my goodness!
We love y'all. We got to go. Have a great Holy Week. And as I told on my show, It's Passion Week, and if you did not listen to my show, make sure to listen to get my email. Go to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com. Sign up for the newsletter. On Friday is one of the most powerful messages I've already recorded about.
It's Friday.
It's
but
Friday,
Sundays
are coming. Oh, you might have some Friday situations, but Sunday's on the way.
Unrealistic expectations could be Friday situations.
Woo, I like that, baby.
How about that?
I keep you. All right, I gotta go. Love y'all. See ya.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everybody. And know that He is risen. He is risen.
He is risen indeed.
God bless y'all. See you later. Bye-bye.
Jolley out.
Bye. Jolley out.